So without further ado, I might just introduce Valentine, if that's okay, who's joining us today from Vienna, which is very cool. I was going to say our first international speaker, but we have had someone from London speak as well, if that counts. But yeah, he's going to be, we were introduced to each other via a course that I was on last year, which was all about the idea of selling your product or your service to a community. So exit to community, you can see on the left there. It was a really fun course, really quite challenging and interesting. Met loads of exciting, cool people from all around the world. And it was talking about not just the legal framework, dark mode, nice, the legal framework of exiting to community, but also how you kind of prepare your community for that. Super interesting. But what I found extra interesting was that they used Notion as the community platform. So the way for people to understand what's going on, who's on the course, how you can learn more. I just thought it was really, really wonderful. So Val's going to talk a bit about that today, as well as his product, Entrepreneur OS, and his agency, Optimization, which I think will be, that was good seeing you kind of follow me around with each thing I was highlighting. But yeah, Valentine, can I just hand over to you? And I think we'll chat for like 15 minutes or so, and then there'll be plenty of time for Q&A. So folks, if you have any questions, maybe keep them until 15 minutes from now, and then we'll just start having a bit of a chat. But yeah, Valentine, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Ollie. Hi everyone. I'm Valentine. I think I can call my role like I don't know, just an implementation specialist or something. On Twitter, I call it like sorcerer. I call it because in optimization, the team I'm working in, we're doing a lot of these interesting, tricky things, basically stitching different tools together, working with Notion a lot. And yeah, today I just wanted to show a couple of things we did with Notion. One of them is this digital product that we also sold. It drove a lot of revenue, and also for me it was unexpected that such a thing, it's basically a Notion template, can actually sell, and maybe show a couple Notion websites. So kind of two parts of two things you can do with Notion, just organization, and not just in the way where, because we're an agency that helps with ops, with digital productivity. And the good part about our work is it's not just us coming into an organization and then setting everything up manually, so doing custom builds, but actually with these templates, we can just, with one click, set up a whole workspace with a bunch of databases, a bunch of dashboards to basically manage all this. For example, manages this template manages all the different, helps manage different things that a solo entrepreneur or a self-employed person does. So this Entrepreneur OS, you can keep your to-dos there, you can keep your meeting notes, you can keep yourself accountable, see different daily views, monthly views, keep your contacts. So it's also kind of like a CRM. Well, I'll get to the details in a bit. And also maybe in the end, I'll quickly show my Notion icons that we've developed that are just a kind of a nice little thing you can use in your pages. And we can talk about the API that Ollie suggested. That's just in spring, something they'll release in public, better way to integrate, and the thing that probably will open a ton of different possibilities with Notion. So let me maybe first show you this Entrepreneur OS thingy, because that's the most interesting, most important part. So you see here, we have it on Product Hunt. The launch was great. Basically, this template has a ton of databases, dashboards, templates, as I've mentioned, and a ton of pre-built components. And to walk you through, how this all looks like. There's a home page from where you can jump to time-based dashboards or to functional dashboards, or do like snapshots. So get an overview for a specific time period. And the way it's structured is all of the data lives on the back end, so kind of like in software, which is basically a collection of 23 databases, grouped by, well, a theme or a topic. So you can see there's a projects database, a calendar database for meeting notes, editorial for marketing posts, contacts, companies, industries, kind of like CRM, financial databases, a bunch of other things. And these all feed information from these databases feeds into these dashboards. So like on a dashboard called today, you can see everything this sole entrepreneur or the person using that template has on their table for today. So you'll see tasks for today, meetings for today, the ones you track. You can even track your mood, make notes, and add a whole lot of other things. And you can jump to other views. So this is kind of like not sure if you can call it the second brain, but the more sophisticated way of using Notion, because usually people either keep just formatted text in there, keep their notes, or they keep some basic databases like to-dos, Kanban boards, maybe galleries, right? Like you have in these default Notion templates for branding material. But this is a structured way to do that. So you have a lot of, well, basically like tables, right? Databases, and they're all connected. So let's say if I add a task, I can connect it to a meeting, or I can connect it a bunch of tasks. I can wrap them into a project, or again, I can have meetings for project. There are, apart from that, there are dashboards for projects. These functional dashboards I mentioned are a way to aggregate information for a specific direction. So let's say if you're doing marketing within your business and also sales and also client services, you can jump to these dashboards and only see the information relevant to, say, marketing. So yeah, we also have OKRs there. You can see your marketing content, marketing notes there. Jumping from the navigation, you can see more things. Very, very sophisticated Notion template, to be short. And here you see on Product Hunt, it got, not sure what exact spot, but like number 5 product of the day or something. And we've sold it with Gumroad and managed to get around 690 sales. So a lot of revenue, because this one costs like $250. So lots of revenue, maybe for some period that was even more that we got from client services with our agency. And yeah, a nice digital product that we built, mostly thanks to Tim, our founder, who basically envisioned all of that, came up with this idea of an agency that assembles a bunch of no-code products and builds whole operational workflows based on that, and also came up with the idea of this sophisticated template. Maybe if you have questions right now, shoot them, because probably I'll just switch to other things we did with Notion. So like websites, calendar icons. So now is a good time to ask around.
Yeah, I think, yeah, well, we have a moment to pause, and if anyone has questions about Entrepreneur OS, I might go first, if that's okay, while folks have a little think if there's anything they want to ask. Just from looking through the chat, you know, we have folks here who are in the civil service, in, you know, work with charities. Have you seen other templates like this on Notion? You know, so did you say $250 this cost?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you sold, did you say 600, 700?
690.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm wondering, like, for perhaps, like, have you seen sort of other versions of this where, for say different industries, like, not for entrepreneurs, for folks who run, yeah, say run a charity, your charity dashboard, say.
Well, I haven't seen a version for charities, and I also haven't seen like templates that are as complex as this one. I've seen trying to search now on Product Hunt with no luck. I've seen things called like Newsletter OS or Growth Kit that are also like Notion templates with some pages, some databases pre-built, but usually it's a collection of well, separate things. So you can have, say, a bunch of pages where you can track that about your newsletter, or where you can read advice about growth. But this is not like if you add something on one page, it does not fit into the other page and you cannot aggregate. So they are more of like a collection of resources, basically. These Notion templates I usually see on Product Hunt.
Bundle like this that kind of connects it all together. Yeah, I'd be kind of interested to see, what opportunities there are for folks who are interested in Notion, in building more dashboards, for different industries in the room. Someone was asking about, do you mind actually just quickly, there'll be a few folks in the room who haven't come across Product Hunt before. Do you mind just sort of explaining, what kind of difference that made to, maybe what Product Hunt is and what kind of difference it made to your launch?
Sure. So, well, Product Hunt is kind of like a listing where different startups, different businesses post their products, digital products mostly. And how it works is you just share a product and it gets to this homepage or the list of all products, and you start collecting upvotes. So usually people try to do some marketing in advance so that they get some upvotes on the launch day, so that their product rises in the general, this kind of the ranking for the day, so that in the end they get one of the first or a featured position, and they get featured on this homepage and more people see them. And basically why most people use it for launching digital products is because it's a lot of attention for your product, and also I personally use it, and I know many people who use it. A good way to discover new products from small teams and from these kind of like digital businesses. So what I'm showing right now is this, like their listing page. So these here are different products. They are organized by topics. This is the number of upvotes. You can click into them and learn more about the product, and go to the website to actually get it, or yeah, learn even more.
Thank you. No, that's appreciated. I would love to ask you lots more questions about Product Hunt, but I realize this is the Notion meetup, so I should probably stray away from it. Do folks have any more questions or comments about so the idea of building, dashboards that you then sell, and so how Entrepreneur OS works? I'll give 10 seconds for folks to digest and see if there's something before we move on. Gonna take a sip.
Let me check the chat. Yeah, let me share the link to Product Hunt.
Sorry, as well, Scott also, so asking about the marketplace to sell, you mentioned Gumroad briefly as well, which you might want to just quickly explain Gumroad, because it is a great resource for, I know there's quite a few folks from the creative industries in the room, I think Gumroad is a fantastic marketplace for selling digital products.
So this what I'm showing right now is Gumroad. It's kind of like a suite of tools you use to charge people for products you sell, or you can also charge them for subscriptions, and you can track analytics. And many creators, many people use this product to basically sell digital products. So how we use that is, let me maybe get some visuals. So we have this Notion website. What I'm showing to the left is our own website. It's completely built with Notion. And here we have a call to action. And here you see inside, this is a Gumroad embed. So what Gumroad as a platform allowed us to do is to make this product page, describe the product quickly, then set a price. This one is a bit lower than it was on the launch, and allow people to press and pay with Stripe, or, well, this is Stripe, but you can pay with different payment methods. And we then get information about that purchase on our dashboard.
Nice, cool. Okay, well, again, I'm taking us off topic from Notion, but do you want to, maybe chat about either optimization or the exit to community dashboards next?
I also see Hugo asks to show a couple of databases.
Yeah.
So let me show that. So in terms of my favorites, I like them all equally, but the ones that are probably used a lot are, you usually find them on these dashboards. So either on time-based or on these functional dashboards. So those that are used a lot are the to-dos. So this is a database called tasks. And you can see on the dashboard, you can group them differently. So you can show blocked tasks, you can show a backlog, and these are different because they have different labels. But when you press to see the whole tasks database, which you usually don't access, because again, it's kind of like a backend and you usually just access the dashboards and views. You see here that it's basically a very large Notion table with a ton of properties. So I think it can be anywhere from 15 columns in this table to 40 for some. And so what this database is about is there's the name of the task. You can tie it to functions. So say marketing. You can tie it to projects. So say you have a Entrepreneur OS launch project, and it has a bunch of tasks. So prepare the product hunt page, publish, check the results, something like that. This marketing, you can tie it to the posts you publish on social media. So you can say, for the Entrepreneur OS launch project, you can create a task or create a post called Entrepreneur OS guide, or what it's about, or how to, that you're going to publish on the website. And within that post that lives in an editorial database, you can add a bunch of tasks. So you can say, write a copy, review it, publish it again, and also track stats for posts. And now I kind of transition to that another database. So you can see that each post has a name, a type, author, a bunch of other things associated. So to answer shortly, then my favorite databases are tasks, projects, editorial. Also a good one is called Calendar, which is where you can keep your meeting notes, or for projects, you can organize them into milestones, deliverables, basically everything that's tied to a date, you keep in the calendar. Hope that was useful.
That's awesome. I think that's, having something so kind of complex set up and looking so simple is, I think why people are willing to pay good money for these things, because clearly a huge amount of work went into setting that up. But for the user at the end, it's very simple to use. Another question come in from Scott, and I actually had kind of same question. I was just trying to work out, like, when I saw, because I know often in Notion, you can have like the duplicate page bit at the top, and he's asking, how do you make sure people don't just steal it and not, buy a template off you?
Well, actually, this was like an issue before we launched, because well, there is no way to really like disable that function if you have the link. So for now, we just decided to go with it. The link we share only after you purchase, but there's still the possibility that some people kind of share the links with someone without them buying, and then they'll be able to duplicate. So that we decided to just kind of, well, let it happen. So let me maybe show what I'm showing right now. Is we're planning to ship some more templates like this one that are, as we discussed a bit earlier, right, with charity example, tied to different use cases. So like a community OS for, well, communities. Maybe you'll be able to use it for the Meetup, the Writer OS for authors, YouTuber OS, many other things. Also, we have a student OS that's not listed here. That's kind of, for learning, for studying. But these we're still working on. Let me maybe just transition to showing the websites, because that's another major part of what can be done with Notion. So this optimization page that I was showing is basically a Notion website, and how everything you see here is subpages and blocks in a Notion page. This one was published with a tool called Super. We're not affiliated, but we use this one because it's just a nice way to publish websites. And you can also style them. You can add analytics to them. And as you've seen, we can embed Gumroad there. You can embed type forms, many different things. You can have SSL, URLs. It's good for with search engines. So like from this optimization website, we have a couple posts that are even featured on Google. I think if you type Notion colors, you see this block here. This is ours. And if I press, that opens, well, our Notion website, where all the posts live in a database actually called posts. Another thing that I built recently for Exit to Community, together with folks there, is this Exit to Community website. And what it's about is kind of like for a cohort, for a learning cohort, for a community of people interested in this whole idea of startups exiting to their communities instead of exiting to investors. A website to meet other people in that community. So learn more about these people. So if you press into a person, you can see more information about them. Actually, can you hear me? What's up with my internet?
Yeah, no, all good.
All right. Okay, so here, for example, I think that was just a bug. So you see, you can press into a person and read more about them. And that all lives in a database called participants, or in a database called mentors. And how we show it on the website is just like a filtered view. So you can show only people whose profiles are public, for example, and these appear on the homepage. And also this website is a place where people can discover resources about this whole cohort, and also learn about upcoming sessions. So here, this is the schedule of upcoming sessions. There is some information about each session, a link to slides, a link to a recording, who's presenting, and from the presenter you can go into their profile. Then there's a wiki, which is, Notion is also a great platform to build wikis. So you see here, this here basically organizes many different materials from this materials database into these sections. So in a wiki, you have articles about Exit to Community, webinars, testimonials, different like these case studies, and you can present all of them differently. You can group them, you can sort them, whatever. And when you press into something, you have a link, or in some cases, you even have a, well, actually, in theory, you can have the whole material if you have the ability to move it. So let's say you can have the whole article inside, like we do on our website. You can have a whole piece as a Notion page, because Notion is a good way to author. You can just write it in Notion, and when you publish, you have it all in a post.
There's a question from Isla that's about public and private settings on these things. So as a community platform, is there a way that people can share stuff without, you know, it being seen, you know, on the public site? Because so anyone can access this website right now, but are there, you know, kind of gated off areas that the community can use?
Yeah, and actually for a team called Zebras Unite, we did a more sophisticated version of a website like this recently. What they have is, maybe I'll not show that gated section, just because I didn't ask them for permission. But what they have is they have a public section, and this is actually built with Squarespace, and they have a subdomain that draws data from Notion that's gated with a tool called MemberSpace. So let me maybe show that. So as you see, all of that is just no code tools. Not a line of code was written in that whole beautiful setup. And what we use to gate different parts of that membership, like a website for members only, is this MemberSpace tool. So what they have is they have a public section and they have a private section. And to access it, you need to sign in or sign up. And when you sign up, you can pay also for that membership with Stripe. So they have their co-op members, and materials that co-op members see can be different from materials that the general public sees. Yeah.
I think Zebras Unite also use Mighty Networks, so it's kind of interesting to, you know, see that they have these kind of different tiers of access for the community. That it's like Notion works with MemberSpace on Squarespace, but then also Mighty Networks, and it's like kind of different, yeah, different nodes of the community connected. I think this stuff is really interesting, how you kind of structure it. So thank you. Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I do think that there is like going to be a huge opportunity for more communities to use things like this. I mean, so tell me, for Exit to Community, do they pay for this, for this Notion page?
No, that's published with another tool called a lot of tools, sorry. This one is called Fruition, which is just a nice, kind person called Steven built something he built. This one allows you to just get a Notion page and publish it with Cloudflare. So Cloudflare workers, they're like serverless platform, serverless functions. So you get a Notion page, you use this Fruition tool, which is basically a script generator. So you kind of just copy and paste this code into Cloudflare, and they have a free plan, so you don't need to pay. Actually, I think with Cloudflare's free plan, it's very generous. You can like not worry about the load for a while, maybe if you have high loads, you'll need to upgrade the plan. So what you do is you take your Notion page, you publish it with this tool called Fruition. And this is exactly what we did for Exit2 community. And then after it's out there and you put it on a custom domain, also with Cloudflare, it works as this website out there in public.
That's awesome. That's one of the things I do love about Notion as well. Is that so I use it myself. I use it in Codebase. We use it publicly in Codebase, and myself and Frida also use it in Prewired. None of us pay a penny for it. You know, it's kind of crazy how much value that we've gotten out of it without ever forking over some dosh. There's a great question from Mary in the chat, but Tom, I can see you've got your hand up. Are you happy to? Do you want to unmute and ask a question?
Sure. Yeah, I was just wondering, Valentine, how long do you think that there's going to be demand for this kind of work? Because it feels to me a little bit like right now you're really adding a lot of value by creating these templates that people don't have to take time setting up for themselves and are really focused for a particular user group. But in 5 years' time, that sort of thing might feel like charging money for Squarespace templates as this gets more sophisticated. So do you see this as like a temporary need that you're filling that isn't going to last forever? Or do you think that that this kind of work is something that you can keep going with for like a pretty long time?
Well, actually, probably a nice way to also, thanks for the question. I think it's probably a nice also time to mention and talk about that Notion API. Because yeah, just these kind of simple templates, well, ours is not that simple, but in general, templates that don't involve coding and that you just build with Notion, probably at some point, there will be thousands of them, maybe at some point in the future, and they'll be cheap. But we've already got access to Notion's beta API, for example, and they're also releasing it in spring. And after that's out, and when we have that, we can basically, Notion just becomes one of many tools that integrate into something else and that you can build more sophisticated digital products with. So in our case, maybe we would transition, not sure about that, but maybe we could transition to not just doing these templates, but also selling some like integrations or software products just using Notion, maybe using Notion as a CRM or something like that. And also we're at the same time, we're doing client services. So setting up workflows for organizations, helping them boost their digital productivity, manage all of these tools. And actually, we usually try to even kind of diminish the number of tools, because when you have like 20 of different tools, it gets hard to juggle all of them. So what we do is just help them analyze their operational needs, rework their whole flow, and make sure that the team onboards and starts using new processes so that they're actually spending less time tackling all of these different tools as opposed to more. Yeah, not sure if that answers your question.
For those of you who know me, I'm also super interested in no-code stuff, and I've been building this community management tool on the side using Bubble. And actually, the genesis of this idea was created in Notion. Like, it was literally like I created a thing on a Notion page and kind of copied the layout to be built, you know, as its own separate web app. But what we're seeing here is that there's so many different things that are going to be available, possible to do with that API. When you have Bubble talking to, Notion talking to, all of these other tools like Eventbrite or Google Maps, there's going to be just endless possibilities to build cool stuff. And I just think it's really exciting. Like, when is the API due to come out? Is it
Well,
March?
It's closed beta right now. So we already have access and we're using it for our clients. And in Spring, don't think they've mentioned, like the team mentioned the exact date, but they're just saying in Spring, there will be a public beta, and also that API will be the one that will be out at that time will be more powerful, because right now with API, you can, for example, query databases in Notion and update them, post to them, but you cannot change the in-page content. So let's say whatever you have inside the page, you cannot change programmatically. So that's a limitation right now for us.
Yeah, we've got just 5 minutes left. There's been a bit of a sort of chat in the chat about for some of the people who are newer to Notion, about what it replaces and what it uses. And I just wanted to say, from Codebase's perspective, it's kind of what Valentine was just talking about, that over the last 7 years, we've built up maybe an array of about 30 different tools that we use to manage everything in Codebase, like from Google Sheets to Eventbrite to Hootsuite, you name it, across all of the functions. And Notion really serves as a signposting tool, and that's it. We store very little data in Notion, but it's just a very clean, easy way. Like the page that Valentine's got shared right now. Someone can go to it behind the scenes in Team Codebase and see, here's all of the marketing assets that we need. Here's a description of what this program is. Here's a link to the spreadsheet that you use to track your time. It serves as a one-stop shop, basically, where you can find out more. It's because if you use Google Drive in particular, trying to find a specific document is, unless you know the name of it and you start sort of trying to search, for like a rough equivalent of what you think the name of that document is, it's really difficult to find stuff. But Notion just lets you create these beautiful dashboards.
Yep.
Like this.
This one is another website. I'm just showing Tim built it. I like it a lot. It's like he organized a bunch of interviews that a person called Dan Shipper does with interesting people. And how it works is you press into an interview, and inside you have the person that the interview was with. You have like what are some practices they use in their daily work. So this is interviews about productivity and operations, kind of this whole, also arranging different tools and using them. You can see tools they use, and you can see their own personal profile, and you can jump and again learn more about tools, about their processes, and about themselves. That's all also again built with Notion. And books also.
That's so cool. I love it. Yeah, there was someone who presented a couple of months ago who uses Notion to look after her plant care for all of her house plants, because she has like 50 or 60 house plants. And I just love, this variety of uses that you can get out of it.
Yeah, and hopefully maybe a bit later there will be an open source tool that's just as powerful, because really Notion is just a collection of just databases, right? A lot of like views for databases. Well, not sure if you can call it basic, but just web technology. And I don't think there's anything in it that cannot be open source. It's just a matter of there's a team that's working on it continuously, shipping updates, just refining that product. And right now there's nothing that compares to it that's open source, but probably at some point in time there will be. And so we'll have this whole beauty also in a more like a free open source version. That's what I hope for.
Awesome. I'm aware we're coming up to quarter two. There was something in the chat just there about Notion's recent outage when no one could access it, and yeah, trying to get them to work on their I guess they've probably grown so massively in the last year or so that there's probably been, quite difficult for them to keep things running. I did love that. So Super, that Valentine was sharing earlier, which let you host a Notion site. They were like proudly showing off the fact that their websites hosted on them were still up while Notion was down, and it was like, yes, yeah, I think a little bit more could be done there.
Yeah, it is painful with it's a bit slow. It can be a bit slow recently, and they said that's kind of one of their main priorities right now, just tackling these performance issues, making it more performant.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's us at 2:45, which is the official end of this month's Notion Meetup. So I just want to say thank you so much, Valentine. That was super interesting. I learned so much. I could ask you a lot more questions, especially about no-code stuff and building tools, and products to sell via Notion. If folks want to reach out to you, what's the best way? Are you happy to chat to people more about what you're building?
Yeah, I think a good way is to go to our website here. We have a form. Oh, no, actually, I think this one will fix. Anyway, let me just share my email here. So feel free to reach out by email and also on Twitter. This is my handle. And also, I think today we'll fix that form on our website, and there you can book a session to talk with us, to us.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ollie.
Cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, well, thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Cheers for coming, everyone. And yeah, we'll be in touch about future meetups soon once we've. Oh, there you all are. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we'll let you know about. I think we're going to Sally's going to try and organize someone for April. I think is the plan. Cool. Awesome. I'll give you a shout after this, Sally, and we can organize that. But yeah, cheers. Have a lovely day, everyone, and we will catch you soon.